people sending me screenshots of the vandalism all over Facebook. The security footage showed a figure in a dark hoodie, but you couldn't see the face or license plate clearly. The principal called an emergency assembly about vandalism and consequences, according to Ella, who texted me updates throughout the day. She said he looked directly at her when he talked about how anyone with information should come forward immediately. Parents started posting about how the school wasn't safe anymore and demanding better security cameras. Some people thought it was funny and true, while others called it criminal property damage that proved someone was out of control. I stayed off social media that whole day and helped my mom clean the house to keep my mind busy. That evening, I got an email from someone named Nadine Vasquez saying she was a lawyer who'd read Lance's articles. She said she believed I might have a case for defamation and intentional infliction of emotional distress against the Pierce family. She offered to represent me pro bono because she'd dealt with them before in another case and knew their tactics. I Googled her and found she was legit with good reviews and an office downtown. We set up a meeting for the next day at a coffee shop on the other side of town where nobody would recognize us. She showed up wearing a business suit and shook my hand firmly before pulling out a legal pad. I told her everything from the beginning: the gum incident, the suspension, the college rejections, my mom's tires, losing my job, all of it. She took notes the whole time and asked specific questions about dates and documentation. When I finished, she looked me straight in the eye and said we had a strong case, but warned that going legal meant everything would become public. She paused and added that any revenge activities I might have engaged in could complicate things if they came to light. I nodded and tried to keep my face neutral, even though my mind was racing about the spray paint. We agreed to move forward, and she said she'd start preparing the paperwork immediately. 2 days later, I was home alone when I heard a car pull into our driveway. I looked out the window and saw Mrs. Pierce's daughter getting out of her BMW and marching toward our front door. I grabbed my phone and started recording before she even knocked. She pounded on the door, yelling that she knew I was home and we needed to talk right now. I opened the door but stayed behind the screen while keeping my phone recording in my pocket. She pointed her finger at me and said I needed to stop the harassment campaign immediately, or things would get much worse for me and my family. Her face was red, and she kept stepping closer to the door like she might try to come inside. I asked her to leave, but she kept going, saying her mom almost died because of me, and I was lucky they hadn't pressed criminal charges yet. She said they had connections everywhere in town and could make sure I never got into any college or got another job. I kept my voice calm and asked her again to get off our property, while she ranted about how I was ruining their reputation with lies. Finally, she stormed back to her car, yelling that this wasn't over, and I'd regret messing with her family. My hands were shaking as I uploaded the video to Facebook that same night. I didn't blur her face or edit anything out. The whole recording showed her pointing at me through the screen door and threatening my family. Within an hour, it had 50 shares and hundreds of comments. People were shocked that a grown woman would go after a teenager like that. Some parents recognized her from the school events and started sharing their own bad experiences with her. The video spread through local Facebook groups, and someone even posted it on the town's Reddit page. By morning, it had thousands of views, and the comments were brutal. People called her a bully and said she should be ashamed of herself for threatening a kid. The principal called my house